Have you ever noticed how your mind can keep you awake even when the whole world is asleep? The room is quiet, the night is still, yet inside your head there is a storm. You replay words, you imagine outcomes, you analyze details no one else even remembers, and you call it thinking, but in truth, it is something else. It is overthinking. And overthinking is not a harmless habit. It is a silent poison that drains your life without you even noticing. Now imagine this. Imagine you are holding a glass of water. At first it is light. You barely notice the weight. But hold it for an hour, and your arm begins to ache. Hold it for a day, and the pain becomes unbearable. The weight never changed. What changed was the time you spent holding it. This is overthinking. The problem is not the thought itself. It is how long you hold it, how long you refuse to let it go. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Overthinking is exactly that. An unconscious force that steals your energy while you call it preparation or caution or care. You believe you are protecting yourself, when in fact you are only exhausting yourself. You are rehearsing pain that does not exist. Think about it. How many times have you suffered twice, once in your mind and once in reality? How many times have you lived an entire scene in your imagination, felt the heartbreak, the anger, the fear, only to discover that none of it ever happened? This is the tragedy of overthinking. It convinces you that you are living, while in reality you are only draining your soul. The cruel irony is this: the more you overthink, the less you act. You spend so much time analyzing what could go wrong that you never give yourself the chance to see what could go right. And slowly opportunities pass, people drift away, time slips through your fingers, and what remains is regret. Not regret for what you did, but regret for what you never dared to do because you were too busy thinking. Overthinking disguises itself as control. You tell yourself, if I plan enough, nothing will surprise me. If I prepare enough, nothing can hurt me. But let me ask you, has overthinking ever saved you, or has it only paralyzed you? You cannot control life by imagining every scenario. You can only drain yourself trying, and the cost of this habit is heavier than you realize. Jung spoke of psychic energy, the life force of the mind. Every thought, every emotion consumes a piece of this energy. And just like a phone battery, it is limited. Overthinking is like leaving dozens of apps open at once. You are draining your battery without even touching the screen. That is why you feel tired without doing anything. That is why you wake up heavy, why your body feels restless even after hours of sleep. Your mind has been working overtime on battles that never existed. But the cost is not only internal. Overthinking ruins relationships. You imagine motives that are not there. You analyze silences until they become insults. You replay conversations until every word feels like a wound. And in the end, you are not relating to the person in front of you, but to the story your mind has created about them. You are trapped in your own narrative. And sooner or later, people feel it. They feel that you are not with them, but with your thoughts. And they drift away. Worse still, overthinking makes you easy to manipulate. Do you know why? Because it makes you predictable. If someone knows that you will analyze every word, every look, every silence, they can control you without lifting a finger. They only need to plant a seed in your mind, and you will water it with your own fear. They only need to trigger your doubt, and you will do the rest. They don't need to fight you, because you will fight yourself. And while you fight yourself, your body begins to break. Stress rises, your heart races, your muscles tighten, anxiety takes root, sleep becomes impossible, health begins to decline. All because you never learned to let a thought pass without chasing it. You never learned that not every question deserves an answer. Not every fear deserves your attention. Not every idea deserves to live in your head. But here is the turning point. Imagine if you stopped feeding every thought. Imagine if you could see a fear appear, and instead of chasing it, you let it go. Imagine the silence that would follow. At first, that silence would feel unbearable. Your mind would scream, demand that you return to the old loop. But if you stay firm, something miraculous happens. The thought dies. It starves without your attention. And in that moment, you discover a truth most people never realize. Overthinking does not own you. You own it. Of course, this freedom has a price. People around you may not like it. They may say you have changed. They may call you careless or cold. But understand this. Most people benefited from your chaos. Your constant doubt, your constant explanation, your constant need to prove yourself made you predictable, made you easy to use. When you stop overthinking, when you set boundaries in your mind, you take away their control, and that unsettles them. So let me ask you now, how long will you let your mind be your prison? How many years will you sacrifice to imaginary battles? How much energy will you waste defending yourself against ghosts? Because one day you will look back and you will realize that the greatest thief of your life was not the failures you feared, but the thoughts you never learned to silence. Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." Overthinking is exactly this. The more you resist the thought, the stronger it becomes. The only way to end the cycle is not to fight, but to observe. To let the cloud pass across the sky without chasing it. To accept that your mind will create stories, but you are not obligated to live inside them. And when you master this, life changes. You stop being reactive and start being present. You stop wasting nights replaying conversations and start creating new ones. You stop being the victim of your own fears and start becoming the author of your reality. Overthinking kills more dreams than failure ever could, but presence, real presence, creates more life than fear could ever destroy. So here is the final question. Will you keep thinking your life away? Or will you choose to live it? The choice has always been yours. You've just been watching the Silent Climb Studio, a place where silence speaks louder than noise. If this message stayed with you, subscribe and leave your voice in the comments. Together, we're climbing toward clarity, step by step, in a world that often forgets to pause. See you in the next video.